The Nioh series isn't exactly known for its nuance. There is good and evil, strong and weak, and little in between. From feuding clans to the machinations of political elites, this binary is at the heart of everything in Team Ninja's pseudo-historical canon. Nioh 3 takes this black and white worldview and applies it to the feuding Tokugawa brothers at the start of the 17th century. Your character Takechio is good, noble, just proper. Your brother, a bitter little rat tempted by ancient powers beyond his understanding, of course, is evil. His desire for power and notoriety is so distinct, in fact, that it has somehow summoned a supernatural crucible from the darkest reaches of space-time, and this confusing chaos is so profound it has managed to seep into 4 major eras of Japanese history. Uh-oh. So begins the tale of Nioh 3, inexplicably playing as the sickliest of the great Tokugawa Ieyasu's grandchildren. You are whisked away through various periods in Japanese history. It is your task, nay your birthright, to insert yourself into the thorniest bits of political intrigue in shogunate canon and undo the evil influence called forth by your brother across the Heian period, the Bakumatsu period, antiquity and beyond. Even by Nioh standards, this is nonsense. But therein lies the charm. What this time cop setting does is pretty convenient for Team Ninja. After 2 games set during the major conflicts of the Sengoku period, this gimmick gives the developer free rein to jump outside its established timeline and show us other parts of Japanese culture, modifying history with myth and giving more context to the Spirit Stone MacGuffin that lies at the centre of Nioh's complicated web of lore. It doesn't add much to Nioh's story though. The bulk of the narrative is still delivered through campy cutscenes that don't make a whole lot of sense unless you're paying a lot of attention, with short animated sequences giving you insight into character motivations and key conflicts. There's a lot of yelling, dying, and asking the main character to continue forward whilst people sort things out back here. It's anachronistic in terms of storytelling, sure, but that's not why most people come to Nioh, is it? For most, it's the combat and the menuing. Yes, really, the build crafting of Nioh has always been the series' strength. The previous Nioh games were sumptuous feasts for fellow loot goblins, and Nioh 3 is even better. Now there are 2 whole character builds you can enjoy, Samurai and Ninja. Before, you had to choose one or the other, and that meant that quick weapons like the Kusarigama or dual swords would have to share a build with passive, powerful weapons like the Naginata or Adachi. In Nioh 3, you can flit between Ninja and Samurai on a whim. This means 2 whole unique builds available to you at the tap of R2. Common sense dictates you to have your Ninja, which can evade without stamina and ready back attacks with uncanny ease, focus on quick stamina draining moves, whilst your Samurai is poised to dish out huge damage with slower, more key-hungry attacks. There are probably other setups that work too, but this logic should carry you through the 60 hours of Nioh 3 with only about 2 or 3 major roadblocks in terms of progress. So yeah, this one is easier than the other 2 games. But 2 loadouts means 2 sets of menus, and you can spend ages gazing at stats, armor set bonuses, and the meagre differences between 0.1% increment buffs. Thanks to the powerful level scaling in Nioh 3 though, every whisper of stat increase counts. Swapping out new gear every 5 or so levels is pretty integral to the core experience, and Team Ninja has made it very easy to auto-sort your lower level gear whenever you pray at a shrine, ridding you of some of the more taxing busywork and rewarding you with level up materials basically for free. You can also auto-equip the best gear in your inventory, which can be adjusted for weight, class, or set bonus, meaning you won't accidentally go fat rolling into battle against a Tengu next time you accidentally wander into an encounter area. The new open-ended regions of Nioh 3 take inspiration from Elden Ring, sort of, yes. There's a singular marker for story completion, but it's bolstered and decorated with a decent but not overbearing selection of side activities. Clear out bases, hunt down formidable enemies, chase some cats around, shoot weasels out of the sky, engage in secret boss battles, weaken the integrity of the pulsating, intimidating crucible throbbing overhead at all times. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, this is not. Team Ninja calls Nioh 3 open field and not open world, and the sizing and design of the maps feels pretty perfect, although it is possible to get bored here if you focus on over-leveling yourself to some degree by redoing optional missions over and over again to grind for specific types of gear. As is series tradition, combat is as good as you'll find in the genre. Nioh 3 is the high tide. It's easy to feel dubious about the separation of ninja and samurai builds to begin with, especially if you want high poses for all weapons, but within a few hours it does all click. The class switch button is also your burst counter button, meaning that big, powerful moves denoted by a red aura can only be stopped by switching classes at the right time. This is baked into so many enemy movesets. The game essentially forces you into a dance between the two loadouts. Use both or die. So goes the unofficial Nioh 3 motto. Stance-based combat is still there in Samurai mode, and that remains one of the best, most unique things about the series. Dancing from low to mid to high stance to take advantage of enemy vulnerabilities, timing your stance switches to perform ki bursts and purify yokai-affected areas, and then weaving this all together to pull off a new martial art special move and finish off your hulking adversary in one combo string. And the newly added utility of being able to swap to ninja mid-run to recover stamina or ki when you overexert and open up some high damage back attacks is as close as you're going to get to poetry in action game terms. Previous games made using the extent of your toolkit a pain in the ass. Readying magic, ninjutsu, or items all lived on the same set of buttons, your item UI in the bottom left corner. Now, ninjutsu is particular to the ninja class, meaning bombs, caltrops, traps, poison mists, substitute tech, and more can only be used in ninja class, and it auto-refills as you deal damage. This one change opens up the Nioh toolkit in a spectacular fashion, giving you access to many more tricks and tools than you've ever had before. More tools mean more by the skin of your teeth survivals, and it means Team Ninja can ram more boss gauntlets into the crevices of the game without the risk of pissing you off too much. Nioh 3 feels like the crucible in which all of Team Ninja's experience has been siphoned into. It studied the fundamentals of every discipline learned by Team Ninja between Nioh 2 and this release, and wove them all together to create something unique and new and more expansive and more focused. It gives you more freedom in your combat, more depth to your builds, and more expression in how you navigate the nuances of Samurai Ninja Melee. All the best bosses from the franchise return and are bolstered by some all-time classics in newcomers in turn. The historical melodrama of the story is fine, and the semi-open world level design shows why restraint is as important as scope when it comes to scale. It feels as though the series, after 3 iterations, has finally refined its formula to the point of excellence here. Like the shogun it so reveres, it has taken the roots of what has come before, paid homage to its legacy, and deigned to build something even more powerful, something even more enduring on those foundations. Enjoy the brutality, revel in the power fantasy, and let yourself be hammered into the ground by the blunt force trauma of a world dedicated to seeing everything in terms of absolutes. 4 out of 5.